Thank you for taking the time to stop by today and delve into the graphic novel with me as we consider its purpose, impact, and value, and whether it deserves to be assigned the coveted heavyweight title of literature. I am Angela Parker, and I'm the proud parent of 4 grown children. I am a reader, a writer, and also a teacher. As the proud parent of a child with learning disabilities, I know that it can often be difficult for a reader to maintain focus when reading a lengthy piece of literature. For a student, this can often result in boredom, a lack of interest in completing assignments, and missing the message conveyed by great literary works such as the Iliad or the Bhagavad Gita. According to RedeemedReader.com, graphic novels are not a substitute for words on a page, but an alternate form of storytelling like film and theater. And according to Ryan Duggan at the Daily Nebraskan, when it comes to graphic novels, they don't even qualify to be judged as great literary works because they deal so little with letters. Many people believe that the graphic novel is not a valid form of literature and should not be taken seriously because it relies heavily upon images to convey a message. You may be asking yourself, what is literature? According to Wikipedia, etymologically, the word derives from the Latin word literatura, which translates as learning, writing, or grammar. Wikipedia goes on to state that literature is an art form, which includes novels, plays, and poems. In recent centuries, this has been expanded to include oral literature as well. Literature can be considered effective if it fulfills the social purpose of storytelling, if it clarifies or informs, creates emotion, and fosters a desire to learn more about a topic. I believe that graphic novels make a great contribution to the field of literature and help to effectively illustrate complex issues by conveying a story in a simpler and easier to navigate format. I believe that they can also spark a love of learning and provide a gateway to more language-intensive types of literature. I've seen this firsthand, and today I will take you on a tour of one of my favorite graphic novels to help you decide for yourself. Like many young kids, my boys always loved superheroes. I spent 15 years stepping on plastic Superman figures and cursing about their pointy little weapons stabbing at my heels. At an early age, we discovered comic books, and then fights started over who owned the coolest one. Next, we moved into philosophical debates over which Marvel character was the strongest and who would win in fights between the X-Men. I watched with fascination as my boys discussed each character's strengths and weaknesses, special powers, and skills. I also came to value these works because of the excitement that they sparked in my boys, but also because of their ability to weave a strong story, which often included a veiled moral message and even delved into the social issues experienced by these characters. There were so many messages woven into these tales, and my boys were embracing reading, and then often having heated discussions around what they read. As my boys became older and their interests changed, we left the world of Marvel and X-Men behind, and as one of my sons found graphic novels such as Mouse and Persepolis, we moved on to those. My son's early high school teacher had already found the value of these types of works, and although they could not be taught in the school, they were recommended to the students as excellent reading, with the warning that they needed to be discussed with a parent before reading them. Soon after this recommendation was given, my son had a friend over for the afternoon. I heard them become a bit heated from the living room and perked my ears to see what the topic was that they were so fervently discussing. While my son was in the gifted program and loved to read by this age, his friend was not a reader and was an average student. She was an opinionated girl who did not enjoy reading and seldom talked about anything political or historical. I was shocked to hear them discussing their views on whether women from Iran should have to wear a veil. As I continued to listen, they discussed how young was too young to go to war and how unfair it was that young children of 14 should be expected to fight for their country. I realized at that point that they were discussing Persepolis, an autobiographical graphic novel written by Marjani Satrapi. I would find over the next few years, graphic novels such as this one would be the main topic of many interesting dinner table conversations and create a love of reading and knowledge for many young people in my son's circle of friends. Because of this experience, I would like to introduce you to the graphic novel, and today we will focus on Persepolis. This graphic novel is a memoir about Marjani's childhood in Iran during the Islamic Revolution and Iran's war with Iraq. It chronicles her path as she tries to translate the actions and experiences of the adults around her while also striving to navigate normal childhood experiences and issues. She combines descriptive and emotional language with sparse black and white images that often depict the horror that Marjani encounters during this historic and frightening period. She takes us on a journey through confusion, fear, self-hatred, love, and loss. Her style is straightforward, often harsh and emotionless, but always raw and always very real. She also experiences a brief period of obvious nihilism, and she unapologetically lays her experience out to the reader. Marjani is able to provide her reader with one simple black and white image that speaks volumes with very few words. Storytelling is one of the most pervasive forms of literature. It has been used throughout the years to pass on information, to teach a lesson, preserve culture, or to foster emotion that creates a connection for the reader or listener. Storytelling has historically often included dance, accompanying artwork such as masks and music. These elements are added to keep the attention of the viewer or listener and to build emotion and a connection as well. The images included in a graphic novel serve to enhance the story in the very same way. For example, Marjani uses a group of images and a few small sets of words to chronicle 2,500 years of imperialism as experienced by the Iranian people. With very few images and words, she is also able to explain to the reader the impact of the decree that girls must be separated from boys and wear veils at school. She also effectively shows the anger and frustration of those impacted by this ruling. In this example, the images help us to better feel the emotion and simply expedite our understanding of the issue and its impact. Marjani is telling us a story, conveying the emotional impact, and building a connection with us as the reader. She makes it simple to understand and keeps our interest by not boring the reader with countless unnecessary details. As Marjani navigates these experiences as a child, she is also dealing with normal childhood concerns, such as her body changing and the self-doubt that often accompanies those changes. Once again, she helps us to quickly understand what she went through and how it felt. Her literary style informs the reader, offers insights into her culture, and evokes emotion as good literature should. There are many additional arguments supporting the graphic novel as literature. According to United Through Reading, graphic novels significantly enhance reading comprehension and vocabulary. They also argue that the combination of visual, textual, storytelling helps readers decode complex narratives. They also continue by informing that the combination of words and visuals helps many readers to better retain what they've read. This was definitely the case with my son and his friends. Another strong argument for graphic novels as literature is that many classic novels act as time capsules to give us a slice of life view of society at a particular time, reflecting political, social, or economic factors. Excellent examples of this are the book 1984 and Oliver Twist. Each gives us a view of the time period, political, social, or economic issues impacting lives at the time, and a taste of storytelling woven in to pique our interest and keep us on the path of discovery with the author. In Persepolis, Marjani does the same for her reader. She tells us a story about her childhood, but also places an illuminating light on the times, struggles experienced, and their impact on her life. For me, her story is just as impactful as that offered by 1984 or Oliver Twist, and is much less complicated to read. I really appreciate the graphic novel's ability to inspire a reader to learn more about a topic. Persepolis prompted my son and his friends to investigate the Iraq-Iran war more in depth after Marjani explained the fear that one mother expressed when her son was given a key to heaven at the age of 14. As my son was roughly this same age, he was unable to fathom fighting for his country at this young age. He also could not understand trading his life for a key to heaven. That summer, there was a lot of research in my home regarding this topic. My son ended up reading some very adult and complicated books on the theory of war, propaganda, and specifically the Iran-Iraq War. It is easy to see that the graphic novel can make a valuable contribution to the field of literature. I believe that dismissing Persepolis as just a comic book would be a huge misstep. It fulfills the literary requirements of informing or clarifying and creating emotion. It also fulfills the social purpose of telling a story and fostering a desire to learn more. Although the number of words used is less than that of a traditional novel, the words are just as impactful. Marjani removes the noise of unnecessary words and fills that space with stark and expressive illustrations that serve to reinforce the message that is being conveyed. There are many excellent graphic novels available today that make valuable contributions to the field of literature, just as does Persepolis. I hope that you will take a literary journey today and pick up a graphic novel. Thank you so much for taking the time today to explore the graphic novel. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to email me. I've listed my email address below. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.